Peter David's loss to the comic industry was a pretty hard hit for fans this last week. I know that I've been really sad about it myself. I've probably actually read more Peter David books than any other writer, which is kind of crazy to think about over the course of just his long history of not only doing comic books, but I'm a big Star Trek novels fan as well. Yes, I'm a dork. And I've read all of his as well. He's written dozens. So there's been a lot that Peter David did in history, and he worked so hard for these corporate projects. But I keep trying to tell everybody, you should not be aspiring, if you're a creator, towards Marvel Comics, towards DC Comics, to writing Star Wars or Star Trek novels, because they don't pay. In fact, they take your creations and you don't get much out of it ever again. And it's really, really sad to watch. And this situation where Peter David's health has been in decline over the last 10 years, where he's just unable to get help, the Disney Corporation does nothing to lift a finger for him. It's really, really sad. And Billy Tucci called out Marvel amazingly yesterday, which we need to get into, and we need to just see how he absolutely bodied the corporation, which I'm glad about, because more people need to call out these corporate bad behaviors. It's been a terrible thing for creators in comics and fans in comics for like forever. They treat the fans like they're pay pigs. They treat the creators like they're disposable and can be churned out and move on to the next guy. It's really, really awful stuff, especially when real talent like here suffers because of it. So let's get into it in just a moment as we talk about all things comics here, guys. Really appreciate you being here. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate everybody, especially the readers, and that's what we're trying to cultivate, because this indie movement, a lot of it has, over the years, copied a lot of the failings of the mainstream comic industry and fake collectability, these things, not being able to hit deadlines. A lot has just been very similar to what we've seen in the mainstream comic industry. And if you originally followed your boy Zach or Ethan Van Sciver, this is a really good spot for you to find, because we've been doing this entire time what those guys promised and didn't deliver on top of that. So I am an independent artist and, of course, a strong conservative artist as well, much like Billy Tucci. And if you like just good fiction where like output is strong, if you like She, is a good example. I loved Billy Tucci's She. I think you'll enjoy my Overmind and Ayla Rin adventures here. It's not obviously the same as like a samurai thing. It's a sci-fi setting. But it's got that same sort of action flair to it that you're going to very much enjoy. So this is in the description below. This is my online web store. I've got them available on ebook also, just make it easy for you, because I want to cultivate readers again, because the joy of Peter David was reading. I wasn't buying the things to collect them and put them in a slab or anything like that. I really wanted to read things, and I think the comic book industry's really lost that all the way around. So here's our work right here. The other thing you can do is sign up for my newsletter. I'm going to have a bunch of crowdfunds and new releases coming out. I've got 9 graphic novels in development right now. And I'm very prolific, just like Peter David, just like Mark Miller, just like Chuck Dixon, working very, very hard as a writer for you to build up something new and build up something different independently away from corporate properties. So you can sign up. You get 3 books for free for doing so, which I really appreciate, guys. And on top of that, then I get to stay in touch with you, which is so imperative. So this is in the description below. So is my store. Thank you so much for supporting, guys. It's been a great building over the last few weeks. And let's get into this. So if you didn't know, Peter David had kidney disease. And eventually last year, there was a post by his wife that they're destitute and they were denied for Medicaid, can't afford his treatments anymore, begging for help. And it's like, and the fans came in pretty hard. I mean, they offered a lot for him. Now, he's had troubles for health for years. He had a stroke at one point, was unable to write. Of course, and since he lives off paycheck to paycheck, he was unable to get anything out of this as well. Now, part of this is all because he doesn't own any of his popular works. Now, he did a couple independent works, and I do urge everybody, when you see something you like, this is another thing like our movement needs to do. If you see like a Jeremy Adams who's a great writer, doing good work at DC Comics, he's doing Green Lantern, Aquaman, see if he's got creator-owned work and support that and start reading those, because the creator-owned work he actually owns, he actually controls. If you become more of a fan of that and pry yourself off of like I'm the Spider-Man fan buying Spider-Man, you will help these creators so much more, and it creates a healthier environment, because honestly, like the guy's writing Spider-Man right now, it's just fan fiction. It's not it's not like they understand Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's vision at this point, right? In fact, they probably have the opposite vision if they're working at Marvel Comics now, right? And so that's so important for us to do as a community, is to back the creator-owned stuff. Now, Peter David had a great series called Fallen Angel. I think it's out of print, and it was a creator-owned deal, which is amazing. If you do come across that, I recommend it highly, but those are getting kind of hard to find. On top of that, he had some good novels called Sir Apropos of Nothing, which I really enjoyed as well, and I keep trying to highlight, like, this is the way to go. Now, Billy Tucci, on the flip side, pretty much bucked the mainstream career. He built his own thing with She. He built his own thing, and if you look at it, he's able to have a much more stable living because of that. So I've talked to a lot of these Star Trek, Star Wars writers and the like, and what ends up happening is you get commissioned for a novel. Say you're Peter David and you're pitching a Star Trek novel, and they say, okay, we're gonna let you have this Star Trek novel, write it for us. I think the maximum now is about $10,000 that you get, which sounds really nice. $10,000 for a book. Okay, cool. A lot of independents go, wow, that's the dream, right? It's not really a dream. If you're working on a book for 4, 5, 6 months, $10,000, I mean, especially if you live in New York or California or whatever, you need like $100,000 to survive, right? In a year at least. And you spent half your year getting $10K for your job. Like, you would be better off working at McDonald's, working at Panda Express, than doing that. That's a disaster. And so you can't live off of that. It's terrible. And these rates have mostly stayed the same. I believe back in the 90s when Peter David was doing it, that rate was like $2,000 a book, maybe $5,000 a book if you're a name like Peter David. Not really going to be helpful even back then. So you're not going to get rich off of doing this stuff. In fact, it's going to be quite the opposite. And you basically trade your name for like clout for Star Trek or Marvel, and like you're in those circles, and then the audiences don't even come in for your like independent work because they're just buying it for that brand. Really, really sad stuff. Like I said, you got to check out independent creators' works. It's so important. This whole setup of comics is destructive towards creativity and destructive towards creators. It really is. So these guys don't make any money off this type of stuff. Peter David did get a little bit off of a TV show he sold for a while, and unfortunately lost all that in a divorce too. So he got screwed on a lot of levels in his life. Poor guy. And then he just slaved away for these corporations for nothing, for pittance, for years. So Marvel Comics posted the other day that Marvel pauses to remember Peter David, whose brilliant writing defined the Marvel Universe, an entire comics medium. His clever storytelling and unbound creativity shaped the Hulk, X-Factor, and more. His work went on to inspire millions. Our hearts are with his family. Oh, yes. Please clap, Disney, for your corporate statement. That means nothing, and you did nothing. You did nothing to lift a finger for this guy, even though he did. Even though they keep making money. They just reprinted the Spider-Man 2099 omnibus, did a whole Hulk by Peter David omnibus run and the like. And they're making bank off of these because that's all that sells for Marvel Comics is these omnibuses at this juncture. And what does he get out of it? Not very much. Not if anything. A lot of times they don't even pay any royalties on this stuff. From what I understand. And so Billy Tucci went out and he said this: you took from him of his creativity. Then when he needed you the most, you turned your backs on him while he suffered in excruciating pain and medical debt. Your hearts are black and your coffers are full for this corporate statement. And as I added to this is mainstream comics. This is why artists should always remain indie. And this is exactly what should happen here. Now, Billy Tucci made a beautiful statement about him as well. He said, very reflective Memorial Day weekend was left even more somber with the passing of my friend Peter David. Our hearts break for his wife Kathleen, Caroline, and his children and family. What I've written about more than once, it verges on infuriating that I have to. I feel it needs to be said for all of those wanting a career in comics. Peter was truly a titan who changed the face of comics, sci-fi, and literature. His stories and creations dazzled millions, earned publishers billions of dollars in revenue, and yet in his last years, he endured much pain and suffering, received no assistance whatsoever from those companies who made billions for, and gave all of his talent to. Quite simply, Peter David is one of the greatest book writers of all time. And so here's some unsolicited advice. Anyone considering a career in comics: Take charge of your own destiny, your own life, and that's your own creations. Learn to write and create and publish your own IPs. Do not ever waste your talent on corporations who are worth billions of dollars and yet deem you so insignificant they issue heinous pencils down in order to rob you of your livelihood after the comic shops closed for a few weeks during the COVID pandemic response. There are thousands of resources and those who have come before you that can assist you in the quest for independence. And I can tell you from this experience that there's no greater career satisfaction than to have someone hand you a copy of your IP work and thank you for creating it. So many creative heroes who changed our world, USN veterans, Denny O'Neil, Dave Cockrum, U.S. Air Force veterans, Herb Trimp, and Russ Heath, and now Peter David, have all suffered financial and health hardships after sacrificing decades of their time, talent, and lives to mainstream comics. Despite all of their contributions and in their darkest hours, right, Marvel and DC Comics abandoned them and left them with nothing. And again, the moral of the funny book story is for you to be strong, publish your own creations. Start a webcomic, promote it panel by panel on social media, build yourself into a YouTube channel that documents your creation process. Afterwards, move into crowdfunding and then, if you so desire, into comic shops. The fans are out there waiting for something great. Give it to them by giving your all. It will be well worth it. Goodbye, Peter David. Thank you for everything. So tragic, guys. So Billy Tucci nails it right here. And this is so important. And, of course, he's walking that walk, creating his own wonderful works all the time. And we really appreciate Billy Tucci and the work that he's doing on the channel. And we do need to build this as an independent comic community, my friends. So important right here. Marvel is a disgusting company. DC is a disgusting company. And, of course, there's a lot of people who just want the brand, and it's a real problem for comics. And we need to change the culture by changing this one step at a time. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. You can join our community, guys, and, of course, help me as I create comics. It's very expensive to create comics. And, of course, I've front-loaded a lot just because on the faith of what's going on with our business as we're building something better than we've ever seen in independent comics before. Get on the newsletter, my friends, so you don't miss the next campaign. Thank you so much, and thank you for supporting independent media. On top of this, you can go to my web store. Like I said, I recommend starting with Overmind, A. Lorin in here. These are usually where people are going because that's my series that I'm building right now. We'll have some more Flying Sparks coming in the future, too, because I know a lot of people love that series, too. And, guys, the best is yet to come. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. Build indie comics, and we'll be back soon.